Well, the House of Commons has adjourned for the summer after expediting a few motions on Wednesday. Here to discuss this past session and agenda heading into September is federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh. Thank you for speaking with us today.
My pleasure.
Well, the Liberals say they had a focus on dental care, child care, and housing this past session. What was the focus of the NDP, and how confident are you feeling about the progress that you were able to make?
Well, mostly everything that the Liberals mentioned, everything that Justin Trudeau talks about are things that New Democrats forced them to do. We forced them to move forward on the dental care, which is covering now millions of seniors have signed up, hundreds of thousands have received care, and we're going to keep on pushing this government to properly deliver this program because we forced them to do it. Now it's on them to properly deliver it. We also forced them to move forward on pharmacare, which is another big step forward for a healthcare system to cover free birth control, free diabetes medication and devices, something else that we forced them to do. But it is clear that Canadians need more, and so we're going to keep on finding ways to push this government, to push Justin Trudeau to deliver for Canadians. They feel like the Liberals are out of touch, don't understand what they're going through, and we hear that the Conservatives just want to cut everything that people need. We know that the other big agenda item for us has been the cost of living, and specifically the cost of groceries. We know that corporations are ripping off Canadians, and they need more protection against these large corporations that are exploiting their power and price gouging and price fixing. Canadians need help to bring down the cost of groceries, and that's what we've been focused on forcing this government to do. Sadly, though, in the last week of session, the Prime Minister voted against, and his team voted against my bill, which would have brought in stiffer penalties for price fixing and would have banned mergers that hurt Canadians. So it shows you a bit of whose side Justin Trudeau is really on.
You say you were able to force the Liberals and the Prime Minister to move ahead with some things. Those other things you had mentioned, though, not so much. What more can you do to try and make that happen?
Well, we're going to continue to push for the things that are going to help people out. We'll spend the summer hearing from folks on their concerns, but we know one of the major concerns that people have been telling us for years now is the high cost of groceries. And we're the only ones that are identifying that it is corporate greed, that it is CEOs that are ripping off Canadians that is driving up the cost of groceries. And we see the record profits being made by corporate grocery stores. And we also see the 1 in 4 Canadian living in poverty, the record food bank usage. We've got to be able to do better than this, and we're going to keep on pushing for solutions. Better protections for consumers, stronger laws and stiffer penalties. We're not going to give up.
Another topic that we've been hearing about lately, dominating headlines, is the foreign interference report. It alleges some parliamentarians knowingly aided foreign entities to meddle in Canadian elections. You've reviewed this report. You've spoken about it. Tell us who you think you were targeted by.
The fact that I was targeted by a foreign government is something that I did raise. It's something that I wanted to confirm for folks that have, I think some information's already been out in the public sphere, but this is true. I've been a target of foreign interference. And it's partly why I care so much about it. I understand what it's like to be targeted, but I also know what it's like for a lot of Canadians who are worried, who have left countries that they were targeted for their advocacy, for their critique of the government. They came to Canada hoping to be free from that, but that same harassment, that same threat, those same threats continue to happen in Canada. And the Anticop report, which for viewers, it's important to understand, this is a committee made up of parliamentarians who reviewed sensitive, confidential, secret documents, who heard testimony directly from intelligence officials and security officials, and came up with a report that very scathingly said that there are parliamentarians knowingly working with foreign governments to actually undermine Canada. And that is a deep concern, something that should be very alarming, and people were rightly so alarmed by that. I read the full version of that report, the unredacted version, and it only confirms what those parliamentarians concluded. It confirms a conclusion. And so I've said that Justin Trudeau has known about this for months, done nothing about it, and that Pierre Poilievre doesn't even want to know about the serious allegations of foreign interference that directly touch on his party. And so I say that makes him not qualified as a leader. It's irresponsible to not look at this information. and I'm calling for additional steps. We've said that the public inquiry that we fought for in the first place should also include countries like India, which weren't initially included, specifically given the serious allegation of foreign interference involved in the death of a Canadian on Canadian soil. And secondly, we've now requested that the public inquiry also look at the allegations as it touches the Conservative Party. Neither Justin Trudeau or Pierre Poilievre are showing how important this is. They're putting their party interests ahead of the country, and that is wrong. I'm putting my country first.
All right, you've got some time off at this point. However, we are heading into another election year. You obviously have to put together a strategy heading into that next campaign. That involves your partnership with the Liberals to continue. How do you expect that to happen?
Well, we've said from the beginning, our major goal has always been how do we use our power to get people the help they need? And we're going to keep on finding ways to do that. Use the leverage we have in a minority government to push for help for people. We fought for dental care, and seniors are not getting their teeth looked after. We fought for pharmacare. Free birth control is going to be a reality for Canadians, free diabetes medication. So we're going to find ways to keep on forcing government to work for you, to work for people, to make Ottawa work for everyday folks. That's going to be our plan, and we're going to continue to do that. We also want to show folks the cost of Pierre Poilievre, the price of Pierre. He's someone who wants to cut your pension, cut your EI, cut your services. That's going to hurt. And we know that Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are out of touch. And we want to show people there's a real choice with New Democrats.
All right, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.